What's good, everybody? Welcome back. It's the same podcast around the same time. It's actually Saturday right now, and there's a huge slate of NBA games today that we have to cover. Starting out with the Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers. This series was supposed to be interesting. I'm not going to front. This series was supposed to be interesting. I expected the Raptors to be a little bit scrappier. I also expected Scotty Barnes to play, which is a big deal. Scotty Barnes would have gave Harden hell down there, would have gave Embiid hell down there. I can't remember what injury he has going on, but they're going to miss having him out there, and I see them getting swept. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that series. I feel like that series isn't the true test for the 76ers, and we'll see what they have going on next round, but I think they'll get blow past the Raptors. I think that even though the Raptors even though they're a championship franchise now, they still have traces of that no plan B franchise. By that I mean Scotty Barnes is out. They don't really have a plan B as far as filling his role. If Siakam goes out, they don't have a plan B as far as filling in his role. Fred VanVleet plays bad, then it's pretty much a washed game for him. So they don't really have everything has to go a certain way for the Raptors to succeed against a team that's better than them, basically. They don't have a superstar that's going to do the same thing every night. But much respect to the Raptors for even making the playoffs as a young team, as a just put together team. They lost Kyle Lowry. They lost DeRozan, two cornerstones of the franchise of our generation. And they added in some young guys, and they figured out a way to Nick Nurse their way to the playoffs. But after that, you got Mavs Jazz. I'm expecting Luka Doncic to play. I'm expecting him to play well. What I want to see Luka do is not settle for outside shots, because when you're dealing with a calf strain, you're not going to have that same lift on your jumper or that same quick twitch to it. The calf is very important when it comes to releasing off your toes. When you get on your toes, that's when you're exercising that calf. So when you shoot, you exercise your calf. Obviously, a lot of your shots are going to come up short. Obviously, you're not going to be able to quite get the same arc on your shot. So I expect him to play in the mid post, high post, low post, and move off ball, get offensive rebound putbacks like he always does. Show he be a ball hawk. I expect him to do certain things well, regardless, because he's Luka Doncic, and you got to show up. You got to show up in this series, because Jalen Brunson, you need to pay Jalen Brunson's salary next year. If you're fucking Luka Doncic, you need to pay Jalen Brunson's salary. I am petitioning for Luka himself to pay Jalen Brunson's salary, because this man, if it wasn't for this man, I'm telling you what, they would be down 3-0 in this series by the time Luka comes back, if it's not for Jalen Brunson and straight up heroics, man. A small 6-foot left-handed guard is filling in all Luka's gaps. He had a 48-5 game, a 40.8 rebound, 5 assist game, a 30+ 5+5+ game. Man, he's doing exactly what I thought he would do, because anybody who's been listening to my podcast throughout the season, I've been watching Jalen Brunson grow in this role that he has now. Being the second guy, first guy off the bench for most of his season, and then being asked to drop 30 and 40 in Luka's place. That's a role change. I'm really been tracking his progress all season, and it's led up to this point. I see the Jazz as a struggling franchise, a confused franchise. You bring in a Dwayne Wade as a minority owner, and that does nothing for the continuity of the franchise. As we're seeing, Gobert and Donovan Mitchell cannot play together. Donovan Mitchell is not a playmaker. Gobert needs a playmaker. So you're basically just asking Gobert to stand around and catch offensive rebounds and the occasional lob. You don't really have a point guard that's putting him in his spots that would lead to victories or contributions to a victory. He's not really useful on the whole end of the court, because you can't put him on the perimeter. Nobody's going to guard him. You can't just have him stand under the basket, because Donovan Mitchell needs to drive the paint. He needs the paint to be wide open. He's not a good match. I don't think that team's going to be together next year. Losing Joe Ingles and just him being on the decline physically is bad. His good years are behind him, I think. I think Joe had some really good years. If you go back and look at his numbers and some of the games he had while the Jazz were coming up, I think that's a big loss. Bogdanovic not being there, big loss. He was a great two-way player for them, a good 6'8", 6'9" body. And, you know, man, it's looking bleak for the Jazz. I'm not going to sit here in front. I see Donovan Mitchell finally making his way to New York. And I don't even think the Knicks would have to give up anything or lose anything to get him. I think they'd be able to keep their whole team and add Donovan Mitchell, which, you know, I see that happening. I see the Jazz losing the series. No matter if Luka plays tonight or not, they're beat. And Donovan Mitchell, in the past, man, once you get him defeated, he's not the guy anymore. He's not the same guy. So unless Jordan Clarkson is going to shoot them to a win, I have the Mavericks winning by 6 points. I go 6 points. Hopefully Luka plays and we can see them back together, getting that on-court continuity and rhythm back before they go to the next round. But I got the Mavs winning the series, and the Jazz have to break it up after they lose to a Luka-less Mav. That's not supposed to happen. There's no Porzingis there anymore. He got traded to the Wizards, and it's Luka and some guys. Jalen Brunson's good, but he's a guy. He's just a guy. Maxi Kleber, he's just a guy. You know, they lost Tim Hardaway Jr. for the season. They don't even have him, bro. And he's a solid 15 to 20. He can be a solid 15 to 20 guy every night. So losing him and still being here, just slid another guy in his spot, that's a sign of a franchise that's doing the right thing. When you can lose a guy like that and you just slide another guy in his spot, a younger guy in his spot, and in Jalen Brunson and some of those young guys they have out there. Yeah, big ups to their coaching staff. Jason Kidd, man, he's showing that he knows how to make adjustments. And that's what the Lakers missed. You had Jason Kidd on the sideline, making adjustments for you, calling on-court audibles for you, and now you don't have them. That's the Lakers' problem.
I'm not going to talk about the Lakers in this freaking video. But
then the big game. This is the biggest game of the night. There's that Celtics-Nets, and I'm looking forward to that. I think the Nets are going to come back and get a win on their home floor. I don't know about them winning the series. I obviously picked the Celtics to win that series, and it's going in my way so far, but obviously I don't expect Kyrie and KD to get swept. However, I do have to address this. Steve Nash has got to go. I don't care what happens, which round they lose in. Steve Nash has got to go ASAP, because we're talking about a guy who either drug KD through the mud minutes-wise through the last 2 months of the season, or he allowed KD to do it to himself. Either way, you got to go. You're supposed to protect your players. You're supposed to see the bigger picture. You guys could have made the 8th seed with KD rested, but you wanted the 7th seed so bad, you let KD go into all these overtime games. He's playing 40, 42 minutes. I look up, he played 43 minutes in double overtime. The next night, he turned around and played 41. Next night, it's 39. I mean, the guy just came off of missing a whole season, bro. He missed a whole season, bro. He can't be out there doing that the next season. Played one healthy season last year, and then he's right back. As a matter of fact, he sprained his MCL recently. Now I'm seeing a KD who's getting no lift, because he's 7 feet tall. He's shooting behind his head, and Jason Tatum's still blocking it. And Jason Tatum's 6'8". KD is 7 feet tall. So that's a problem. I don't see him any sudden in his game anymore. You know, off his crossover, his hezzy crossover, he usually hezzies really high and then crosses over really low. And it just doesn't no space for him right now. He looks crowded. He looks slow to react. He looks tired, man, mentally. I think it's more mental than anything. But when you're mentally tired, it can slow you down physically. So, and then, you know, I've got the Nets winning that game today. I think it's going to be a nail biter again, but I have the Nets pulling through. I've got Kyrie carrying them to a win. I say Kyrie mixed with some Bruce Brown. I don't know who that next contributor is going to be for them, man. After that, I got my favorite series, the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. I've got the Grizzlies winning tonight. Even though I really want to pick Minnesota, I don't think that they'll pick it up tonight. The game's in Minnesota. I have Ja Morant talking hella trash after this game, and Minnesota grabbing one after this. But I think Ja and the Grizzlies are going to win that game tonight, and 10 or more. I don't think Cat's going to play well in this series. I just don't. I think his mind is somewhere else. And, you know, his dad and Ja's dad got that thing going on where they're competing and one dad has to wear the other son's jersey after they lose and man. And I think it's just, one kid has a mentality like he's a dog, and then Karl-Anthony Towns just, you can tell he's never been here before, man. That's all I can say about that. You can tell he's never been here before. He's not making adjustments to his game. He's running over guys. He's trying to run through people. He's trying to jack up threes. He's not really finding his space as a player in this series. So I think that's going to, take a big effect. I think that's going to play a major role. I don't think it's anything Anthony Edwards could do or D'Angelo Russell could do with a piece like that not performing well as in Karl-Anthony Towns. But I've got Minnesota winning that game by 10 or more. We're going to see if these picks are right. But either way, man, it's the playoffs. I can't wait to get to the next round. I'm enjoying this many games being on every day, though. This is like when the NCAA tournament first starts, and it's like games on games on games. And then once you get to the Elite Eight and the Final Four, you have to wait a few nights. And it's like, dang, man. It's just basketball nirvana when the games are every night and you have 2 East Coast, 2 West Coast. Maybe you have 2 games on at one time and you're flipping back and forth. It's a good time of the season. It's a good time of the year. For the players, it's all led up to this. So we'll see. But, either way, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep pushing. But bless up though.
Hey. Stirring the pot, hey. I got the wop.